Hello, welcome back to another episode of Irv. Today I'll be rating a vine, as I do in every episode. Specifically, today's vine will be the Happy Birthday Raven vine. So let's just dive right in. Something that Raven can't do. I think this vine is more or less incredible. Um, there's so many aspects. We have a lot to talk about with this one. The fact that this person brought Raven to the beach and Raven cannot swim. And I find it difficult to believe that if you are bringing a child to the beach for their birthday, you would probably have some sort of a grasp on whether or not they could swim. It's a little difficult because just by looking at the vine, you don't know what relationship Raven has to whoever has brought her to the beach. So it's kind of difficult to pin that sort of responsibility on them. If it was Raven's mother, you know, then I would struggle to believe that she wouldn't know that Raven can't swim. I think maybe my favorite aspect of this vine is how Raven's response to being told happy birthday is with a concern of her inability to swim due to them being at the beach. I think it's pretty humorous that she doesn't respond in the natural sense of saying, thank you for acknowledging that it is in fact my birthday or anything of that sort. She really just states the fact that, this whole ordeal of her being at the beach is actually more worrisome than it is exciting. It's less of a birthday gift and more of a birthday curse, if you will. Another thing, though, is that she really doesn't need to be that worried that she can't swim. She's obviously suited up in water wings and, has people there with her who are not going to let her drown. They'll be watching her while she is in the water, so the whole her not being able to swim isn't really that much of a problem. I think this sort of shows how kids tend to think that their problems are really large. Raven is probably thinking that the fact that she cannot swim and is at a beach on her birthday is this huge issue. Little does she realize, water wings and a life jacket will save her and kind of negate any of her worries. It's interesting, all of the vines that have children in them, kind of seeing developmentally where each child is at and how different it is from everyday adult existence. We're so used to these social norms of if someone wishes you a happy birthday, you say thank you. You don't go into your problems, you don't, acknowledge everything going on in your life. And I think that's one of the issues with society. It's sort of the example of when someone asks you how you're doing, the expected response is to say you're good, and then no one really wants to know why, and no one really wants you to not say that you're good. There are a lot of strict norms like that socially, and I think this vine is commentating on the way we interact in our modern society and how harmful it is. If Raven hadn't brought up that she couldn't swim at that point in time, if the people she was with didn't already know this information, this could be a very deadly birthday for her. And I think there's so many times in our lives when people do ask you how you're doing, and you need someone to kind of vent to or tell them that things are not good, and no one is listening because socially that would be an unacceptable thing to do. Well, enough of that. I guess we'll just jump right into rating this Vine. For quotability, I'm going to give this Vine a solid 6 out of 10. I do reference it fairly often, however, it's always relatively forced. Doesn't come up super naturally, and it's always a little out of context. However, I do appreciate this Vine enough to try and make it work. For relatableness, definitely a 0 out of 10. I can actually swim and have vivid, horrendous memories of taking swimming lessons when I was in elementary school that I really despised. So for me, swimming is, not much of an issue anymore. But, maybe I'll change my rating to a 2 out of 10. I did almost drown twice when I was a child, so I guess in that sense, swimming has been an issue in my life. It's no longer relatable, but I can definitely understand where Raven is coming from. Sonic quality, a 9 out of 10. I love how you can hear the wind in the background. You really are getting the full beach vibe. You know where they are without being there, just from the sounds. Closing your eyes, you feel like you are standing right next to Raven. And for those aspects, definitely, much better than a lot of Vines, I'd say. For visuals, really good. So a 10 out of 10. The contrast of Raven saying she can't swim while wearing water wings is very humorous. The word Raven that's written out in the sand that probably took a lot of time and effort is, just icing on the cake. Everything comes together really well. You know exactly what's going on with it only being 6 seconds. It's very direct, and that's what makes it such an iconic Vine. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to like or subscribe or comment any Vines that you want me to review. And that's it.